They may have one or two just every couple of years. Now, granted, they will have experience with sunitinib and renal cell, although that's becoming less common with some of the newer agents. They've had experience with regorafenib with colon cancer, but again, it's not clear to me how much that's actually being used. But for those of us who routinely will use these drugs, it is clear that rego is harder than Sutent. Sutent is harder than imatinib. And at least for this table, the ripretinib has an extremely favorable side effect profile, right, in my opinion.
Okay. So is there anything, as you just quickly reflect on the label, anything that at this point that would cause you any concern for prescribing Qinlock?
Zero.
Okay. So in the time we have left, I wanted to touch on the ongoing INTRIGUE trial. Are you running that trial at Duke?
We are.
Okay. Actually, I had one interesting preliminary comment. One physician who also has the trial open said it has gotten easier to enroll in the trial since Qinlock was approved for fourth line. Have you seen any difference in patients willing to enroll because it's now an approved drug versus before it was more experimental?
No, honestly, we've had some challenges enrolling. We have a subject on currently, but we've been challenged in part because, at least at our center, this was a concern that I had early on about opening the study, is that many of the community-based providers are familiar with, obviously, Gleevec, and they're familiar with Sutent. And when they send these patients to us, they've already seen 2 lines of therapy and then they're not eligible. So that's a frustration that we've had, in that our community providers will send them too late.
Yeah.
But no, so I haven't had that experience yet.
Interesting. Okay. No, that makes sense. Have you all, or has the company tried to work upstream, if you will, to inform physicians about the availability of a second line trial to maybe delay or to quicken the referral process? Or
it's hard to know who to target, in part because they're just sort of, the patients are scattered all over the place in a variety of different community settings, and the community providers don't see enough patients to remember that there's a trial.
Yeah.
So I think the lower hanging fruit is patient advocacy groups, Facebook groups and things to spread the word on almost direct to patient contact, patient to patient contact to make them aware of the trial so they know to ask before it's too late.
Right. No, it's good. Actually, literally what I was thinking it was it would be perfect to run that in direct to patient sort of communication, whether through a group or trying to find them directly. So that I had the same thought. So when you look at the design of this trial, any comments about the design of the INTRIGUE trial that, beyond the challenge of patients being referred after maybe too late for the trial? Any other challenges with the trial itself from a design standpoint?
Not from the design. I will tell you that the dose of sunitinib is one that we don't routinely use. We routinely will use the 37.5 milligrams daily. I know this is the 50 milligrams 4 weeks on, 2 weeks off, but the way the protocol is written is that it allows the investigator to adjust the dose accordingly. So I've started patients on 50 and tried to stay true to the trial, but we had a patient who sort of crashed on the 50. We had to drug hold, and then we reduced to 37.5, and it's been a non-issue. But the 50 daily, 4 weeks on, 2 weeks off is really tough to tolerate for patients.
Yeah. Does the protocol require you to try the 50 for a period of time, or are you free to change as quickly as you see fit?
I think you're required to start at 50, but I think I've actually heard some people say they get 50 for one day and then dose reduced, but I haven't done that. I start them at 50 and I try to give them a fair shake, sure, just to be fair to the trial and just try to do what they want from the trial standpoint. But if we run into issues, then we'll reduce.
Right. Could the 50 milligram starting dose have any impact on the outcome of the trial, in your opinion?
It could have an impact on patient-reported outcomes.
Right.
But the reality is that's the FDA-approved dose. So it is what it is.